Welcome to session 4 of Unit 2 in learning the course Design and Analysis of Algorithms. In our previous sessions, we seen the divide and conquer general method and its two applications. One is binary search and other is merge sort. In our today's session, we are going to explain about another application of divide and conquer method, which is nothing but quicksort. The main objectives of this session are to learn the procedure of quicksort and to find the time complexity of quicksort. The learning outcomes of this session are understand the process of quicksort and able to sort an array using quicksort and can analyze the efficiency in terms of its time complexity. The topics that we are going to discuss in this session are the problem statement, algorithm for quicksort, and solving an example problem. Coming to the problem statement, what is quicksort? Given an array of n elements, the quicksort problem is sorting the elements of array by splitting the array into two sub-arrays, sort each sub-array. So here, what is quicksort problem? Given an array of n elements, quicksort problem is sorting these elements into increasing order by dividing the array into sub-arrays. Those sub-arrays are sorted individually. Now here, how quicksort works? Here, quicksort works by partitioning a given array A, P to R. Here, the given array is A of P to R. Here, P is the low index, R is the high index, into two non-empty subarrays. The first subarray is A P to Q and the second subarray is A Q plus 1 to R. So here, what is the quicksort procedure? It goes for partitioning the given array A P to R. Here P is the low index, R is the high index, into two subarrays. Those two subarrays are A P to Q is the first subarray and A Q plus 1 to R is the second subarray, such that every key in A P to Q is less than or equal to every key in A Q plus 1 to R. How the partitioning is done? The elements which are present in the first subarray are always less than the elements present in the second subarray. How partitioning is done in quicksort? The given array is divided into two subarrays in such a way that the elements in the first subarray are less than or equal to the elements which are present in the second subarray. And this partitioning can be done by rearrangement of the elements by selecting randomly one element as pivot element. Now here we are saying that in quicksort, the array is partitioned into two subarrays. How this partitioning is done? Here, the partitioning is done by the rearrangement of elements. How this rearrangement can be done? By selecting one element as pivot element. Out of the elements which are present in the array, randomly one element is selected as pivot element. By adjusting that pivot element, we are going to rearrange the elements. So, by the rearrangement of those elements, at some place, pivot element is correctly placed. At that case, the array is partitioned. Now, this process of reordering the elements such that the elements present before pivot are less than 8 and after pivot are greater than 8. So here the pivot element is rearranged in such a way that the elements which are present before pivot are less than 8 and the elements which are present after pivot are greater than 8. At pivot, the array is partitioned. So first is the first subarray, left subarray, and second is the right subarray. Now here always the elements which are present in left subarray are less than the elements which are present in right subarray. So here I hope you understand the problem statement of quicksort. Here you have given a global array. the quicksort problem goes for arranges the elements in increasing order by partitioning the array into sub-arrays. How the partitioning is done? Always the left subarray or the first subarray, the elements of first subarray or less than the elements of second subarray. How this partitioning is done? This partitioning can be done by the rearrangement of elements. How this rearrangement happens? Here we are going to select one element randomly as pivot element. I am going to adjust that pivot element. By the adjustment of pivot element to its correct position, the array is partitioned. The elements which are present before pivot element are less than it, and the elements which are present after pivot element are greater than it. So like that, the rearrangement process partitions the given array into two subarrays. Those two subarrays are sorted in the same procedure. This is quicksort problem statement. And coming to the time complexity of quicksort, its time complexity is big O of n log n. So how it becomes big O of n log n, I will explain you later when we are talking about time complexity. Now let us see the
quicksort starts by randomly picking one ball called a pivot. It then rearranges the other balls by comparing them with a pivot. Balls wider than the pivot are moved to the right, and darker ones to the left. The pivot can now be placed where it should be. Our row of balls is now split into two smaller, unsorted rows. Each is sorted in turn using quicksort. Pick the pivot. Rearrange the other balls. Put back the pivot, and so on. Quicksort starts by...
This is the procedure of quicksort. So you already observed that in the video, she selected one element as the one ball as the random ball, and she compared all the remaining balls with that random ball, and she arranged them according to their color, intensity of their color, and the pivot element is placed in its proper position. Then the array is divided into two subarrays. Now here I am going to explain this process clearly, the quicksort process. Now let us see here. First I selected one element as the pivot element. Here consider the element 40 as the pivot element. Consider element 40 as the pivot element, and I am going to take the elements which are greater than pivot element from left side, and I am going to take the elements which are less than the pivot element from right side. Let us observe. Here if you compare 40 and 90, here 90 is greater than 40. 90 is greater than 40. So I found the first greater element than 40. If you observe from this side, here 50 is greater than 40. So I need to find the less element. So after that I am going to compare with 45. It is also greater than 40. Now if you see 20, it is less than 40. Here I found the element, the first element which is less than pivot element. Here I found the first element which is greater than pivot element. Now I am going to replace those two elements, or I am going to swap those two elements. That is 20 comes here and 90 comes here. So here 90 is arranged here and 20 is arranged here. In the same way we need to continue the procedure. Now let us see, the next highest element of pivot is 16. Here if you go for the next least element is 10. Now 10 comes here and 60 comes here. 10 comes here and 60 comes there. So that is, we swap those two elements. After that if you observe 5 is the less element. And then 13, which is also the less element. So in this case, if you go for 16, I already rearranged that 16. I already rearranged. So that's why since all the elements are compared with the pivot element, the last element is 13 what we compared. This 13 is swapped with the pivot element. So here 13 comes here and 40 comes here. If you observe the array, it is divided into or it is partitioned into two sub-arrays. If you observe the elements which are present before pivot are less than it and the elements which are present after pivot are greater than it. So I hope you all understood. First we consider 40 as the pivot element. I need to find the element which is greater than 40 from left side and I need to find an element which is less than pivot from the right side. First I compared 90 with 40. 90 is the greater element. So I found the first greater element from left side. And coming to right side 50 which is greater than pivot but I need less element. I am going to compare with 45. This is also greater. I am going to compare with 20. This is the less element. So this greater element and that less element both are to be swapped. Now I swapped 90 with 20. So after that I am continuing the same procedure. After that the next element is 60 which is greater than pivot element and next element is 10 which is less than pivot element. These two are swapped. So that is 10 comes to 60's place and 60 comes to 10's place. After that the next element is 5 which is less than and the next element is 13 which is also less. The next element is 16 which is greater but it is already rearranged. So I am going to consider the last compared element. The last compared element is 13. So this 13 is replaced with 40. That is we are swapping the 13 and 40. Now here pivot is correctly placed in its position. Pivot is correctly placed in its position. All the elements less than pivot, before pivot are less than it and all the elements greater than it. So the array is partitioned. This becomes one sub-array and this becomes another sub-array. Now we need to sort these two sub-arrays individually. Now for sorting this sub-array, we consider 13 as the pivot element. First I find the greater element and from this side I find the less element. These two are to be swapped. So here 5 is swapped with 20. So after that I taken 10. So here 10 is the less element. 20 is the greater element, but I already rearranged 20. So the last compared element is 10. So we need to swap 10 with 13. 10 with 13. Again, in this subarray, 13 is correctly placed. If you observe, this is one subarray and this is another subarray. All the elements which are present in this subarray are less than pivot. All the elements which are present in this subarray are greater than pivot. Okay, now we need to sort this subarray. This is one subarray. We need to sort this subarray. Again, I am taking 10 as the pivot element. The last element that I am comparing is 5. So both are to be rearranged or swapped. So we will get 5 and 10. So here these are already sorted. So 13 is already, it is in its correct position. And 20, since only one element is there, it is already sorted. And 40 is also correctly placed in its position. Now we need to sort this subarray. For sorting this subarray, we are considering 60 as the pivot element. This is the greater element and this is the less element. I am going to swap these two elements. After that, if you observe 45 is the less. And coming to next one, 90 is the greater element. But 90 is already rearranged. So the last compared element is 45. We are swapping 45 with 60. Here 60 is arranged in its correct position. The array is partitioned. The elements before 60 are less than it and the elements after 60 are greater than it. If you observe this array, this is already sorted. And 60 is in its correct position and 90, since only one element is there, it is also sorted. So finally we get the sorted array. So I hope you all understood the quicksort procedure. What we are doing, we are considering randomly one element as the pivot element. From the left side, we are considering the greater element than the pivot element. From the right side, we are considering the less element than the pivot element. The both elements are to be swapped. So if you continue the same procedure, at the end, where the pivot element is rearranged to its correct position. In that case, the elements which are present before pivot element are less than it. The elements present after pivot element are greater than it. So in that case, the pivot element partitions the array into two sub-arrays. These two sub-arrays are to be sorted individually in the same procedure by considering randomly one element as the pivot element and by partitioning that sub-array into two sub-arrays by the rearrangement of pivot element. So we continue the same procedure to get the final sorted array. So this is the process of quicksort. So here I am going to show you how quicksort works. Let us see. They taken 31 as the pivot element. Now here 35, which is the greater element, there 26 is the less element. So these two are swapped. So after that 44 is high, 33 which is high. So after that 27 is swapped with 33. This is the higher element and that is the lesser element. So those two are swapped. Less element. So here 31 is swapped with 42. That is pivot element is correctly rearranged. That 31 is correctly rearranged. This is the procedure of pivot rearrangement or partitioning the array. Let us see the algorithm for quicksort. So here I divided for the convenience and for the simplicity, I divided the algorithm into three parts. The first part, here I am showing the first part, which is nothing but quicksort of p comma q. Here sort the subarray a p to q in the global array a1 to n in ascending order. Here the global array a1 to n is considered. In that global array a p to q is the subarray which is sorted into ascending order. So if p less than q, select a of m as pivot element. So randomly we can select any element as the pivot element. Or out of given elements, randomly we can select any element as the pivot element. But probably we consider the first element as the pivot element for our convenience. And here m is equal to partition a, p, q. That is, m is pivot element. We are going to rearrange the position of pivot element. By the rearrangement of position of pivot element, the array is partitioned. The same thing I am doing. So here this partition procedure is represented in the next algorithm. This is the partition algorithm. I represented this partition algorithm in the next procedure. I will explain there. Now here after that quicksort of p m minus 1, quicksort of m plus 1 q. That is, here your array is a p to q. Here your array is a p to q. You selected one element as pivot element, which is nothing but a of m. You are going to rearrange the position of pivot element at here. Here you arrange the position of pivot element. Here some elements are present before pivot and some elements are present after pivot. This becomes one subarray and this becomes another subarray. Since pivot is already rearranged, it is present in its correct position, no need of considering pivot into the left subarray or into the right subarray. No need of considering pivot element into the process. Here pivot is left. The elements which are present before pivot are considered as the one subarray. The elements which are present after pivot are considered as another subarray. That is, p to m minus 1 is one subarray. M plus 1 to q becomes another subarray. So I called quicksort for p to m minus 1 and quicksort for m plus 1 to Q. So by following the same procedure, we can sort those subarrays also. Else, if that condition is not correct, array already sorted. That is, if P is equal to Q, if that array contains only one element, in that case, array already sorted. Now we are going to see the partitioning procedure. How the partitioning is done. This partitioning procedure. Let us see the partitioning procedure. So here, let us see the partitioning procedure. Algorithm partition APQ. The partition of subarray APQ is done by taking first element as pivot element. I already said you that randomly any element can be considered as the pivot element. But for our convenience, we are considering the first element as the pivot element. Now here the first element A of I is equal to A of M. Here I selected the pivot element. I is equal to P and J is equal to Q plus 1. Here we are going to repeat this process. What process we are repeating? Let us see. Repeat I is equal to I plus 1 until A of I greater than or equal to A of M. Here what I am doing? I is equal to I plus 1. That A of till which condition reaches, we are doing that I is equal to I plus 1. A of I greater than or equal to A of M. That is, we are finding the greater element than the pivot element from left side. Okay. In the same way, repeat J is equal to J minus 1 until A of J less than or equal to A of M. So what we are doing? We are decrementing the J value. That is, from this side, right side, we are decrementing. That is, we are going to find the element which is less than pivot element. The element which is less than pivot element. If I less than J, I am going to interchange Aij. If I less than J, I am going to interchange Aij. That is, the less element from the right side and greater element from the left side, both are to be interchanged. This procedure is continued until I greater than or equal to J. Once I greater than or equal to J, we go for rearranging that Z element with the pivot element. That is, the Z element is swapped with the pivot element. So this entire procedure gives the partitioning of array. Now here, what about the interchange? How interchanging is done? Here I represented the interchange procedure. Algorithm interchange of Aij, that is, which is nothing but simply swapping. Here P is equal to A of I is equal to A of J and A of J is equal to P. That is, we are interchanging these two values. A of I is swapped with A of J. This entirely gives the algorithm for Quicksort. Now here, let us see how to do the process. Here, for explaining this, I am going to consider one example. Simply calculating, I have taken an example which contains 5 elements. Those 5 elements are represented with the index values 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and here I am taking the fifth is nothing but infinite. So just why I am taking this fifth element as infinite means we need to consider AP2Q as A1 to N as a global array. In that global array, the given array becomes a subarray AP2Q. So here this is P2Q and this entirely is 1 to N, which is a global array. Now what we are doing? We have to repeat the process. Now first element A of I is considered as the pivot element. Now here I am considering this as the pivot element. Now here what I am doing? I am going to consider I is equal to P and J is equal to Q plus 1. I is equal to P means 1 and J is equal to Q plus 1, which is nothing but 5. So here this is P and this is Q. This is Q and this is Q plus 1. So here 5. Let us see what the procedure I am repeating. Repeat I is equal to I plus 1 until you get A of I greater than or equal to A of J. Now I am going to increment I. By incrementing I, it becomes 1. Now what I am going to do? I am going to compare A of 1 greater than or equal to A of M. That is 15 greater than or equal to 10. Yes, condition is true. Then what I need to do? I need to increment j. I need to decrement j. So till which process I need to decrement? A of j less than or equal to a of m. Now decrement a of 4. J is decremented. So by decrementing j, what the value? 18 less than or equal to 15. Here condition is false. Again I am going to decrement 3, which is 2 less than or equal to 15. Here condition is true. Here condition is true. Now I am going to compare I less than j or not. Yes, I less than j. Since I less than j, what I need to do? A of 1 should be interchanged with A of 3. So that is by interchanging A of 1 and A of 3, what you will get? 10. To 20, 15, 18 and infinite. Like that you will get. Here 2 comes, here 15 comes. These two are interchanged. So here, after that again I am incrementing I value. This process is to be repeated till you get I greater than or equal to j. Let us see here. Till you get until I greater than or equal to j, you need to repeat the process. So that's why we are repeating the process. 2. So here what is A of 2? 20 is greater than or equal to pivot element. Yes, condition is true. Now again I am decrementing j value. 2. What is 2 value? 20 is less than or equal to pivot element. Condition is false. And 1. 1 is 2, which is less than or equal to 10. Yes, condition is true. But here I not less than j, I greater than j. So we reached the condition. Since we reached the condition, we need to replace pivot element with jth element. What is jth element? A of 1 is the jth element. Jth element is replaced with pivot element. Then what becomes the array? 2, 10, 20, 15, 18, infinite. That is, the pivot element is rearranged to its correct position. This becomes one subarray and this becomes another subarray. Okay, we need to sort this subarray. Here, since this contains only one element, it is already sorted. We need to sort this subarray 20, 15 and 18. We need to follow the same procedure to sort this subarray also. So this explains the quicksort procedure, partitioning procedure. Now coming to the time complexity of quicksort. Here the time complexity recurrence relation can be represented as like this: T of n is equal to a when n is equal to 1. And 2t of n by 2 plus cn when n is greater than 1. Here a and c are constants. I already said you in the previous class, here a value is 2 and b value is 2. F of n value is cn. So here f of n is nothing but the time required to partition the array or to divide the array and to conquer the solutions. And here a is nothing but how many subproblems that we are considering. We are considering both the subproblems. So a is 2 and t of n by 2 where we are dividing the array. So here we are dividing the array in the place of partitioning into two halves. So that's why we are going to represent 2t of n by 2. So by solving this recurrence relation, we will get the time complexity as big of n log n. Big of n log n. I explained how to solve this equation while we are talking about merge sort. Okay. So let us see the comparison of
Both robots perform 19.
Yes. If you observe that comparison, both takes the same number of comparisons. Mergisart and Quixart both are completed with 19 comparisons. But Quixart completed earlier, but Mergisart takes some longer time. So we can say that Quixart is efficient when compared to that of the Mergisart. Okay, now here I hope you all understood the Quixart process. Now I am going to summarize the concepts what we explained in today's session. In today's session we explained about what is the Quixart problem statement, how we are going to partition the elements, and how we are going to done rearrangement of those elements, and also we explained by taking an example how to do that rearrangement and how to do partitioning. We also seen the algorithm for Quixart, and we also analyzed the algorithm by taking an example, and also we seen the time complexity of Quixart. We seen the comparison of Mergisart and Quixart also. To assess yourself, I given some questions here. Let us see these questions and answer these questions. The first question is, the Quixart application follows dash algorithm technique. Option A, divide and conquer. Option B, greedy method. Option C, dynamic programming. Option D, backtracking. The next question is, in Quixart application, the array divides at option A, after first element. Option B, before last element. Option C, midpoint. Option D, random index. The next question, implement Quixart algorithm for sorting the elements of given list. Here I have given this list of elements. Implement Quixart algorithm to sort this list of elements. Not only implementing Quixart, you have to compare Mergisart and Quixart procedures on the same array. So how many comparisons that Mergisart takes and how many comparisons that Quixart takes, you need to compare the step-by-step process in sorting this particular array using both the procedures. In preparing this presentation, I used the digital content from various public sources. This is only used for educational purpose, not for commercial purposes. Thank you for listening the session.